Amazing.
Hello, Darko.
Hi, Marco. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. Where are you?
I am in Guatemala at the Lake Atitlan in Santiago Atitlan, which is like the biggest town here at the lake. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. So
that's
true.
what Darko was telling me about it before with a little chat, and he was told me about this little ceremony about get rid of the illusion in this moment.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the full moon, brother, he wrote me and he was like, yeah, let's use this portal to manifest what we want to manifest, basically, to become sure inside of what kind of change we want to create inside of us in order to see that reflection in the outside. And it was just so synchronistic on so many levels. Yeah, I've been gifted from this lake a beautiful, beautiful crystal, a giant crystal that found me after giving thanks and prayers for the opportunity to drop all the illusion, because it's just time. I'm fed up with all the lies and all the cognitive dissonance, really.
Yeah, well, I in my perception, of course, we need because it's a dream. The whole thing is a dream, you know. So you can say it is an illusion. It's just that now we are gaining a higher level of discernment to choose the illusion that we really is more organic and in tune with our soul, right?
Right.
So we're ending now a dream that it was quite contracted. It was about separation, scarcity, survival, disease, death, and all these fascinating and colorful, very separative experiences. And the best way to let them go is through appreciation.
Right.
Because we appreciate, because now, after this, we really are masters of separation. I mean, now we can teach so much to the whole universe. We have so much to give after we've been in those low, dark frequencies, right?
Exactly.
So it's the end of a dream, and now we have to cross the bridge to the next dream that is waiting for us.
Right. And this is exactly the question for me. Like, how do we create this bridge and how do we walk that bridge? Like to make sure that we are staying on the bridge and not, walking back. And that's for me, and that's where for me that whole topic of honesty comes in, because it's easy to think that we are progressing in some way, but it's more difficult to be so honest with oneself that we actually accept the reflection that life gives us back, to be like, okay, this is where I am progressing, I am walking the bridge, instead of just like, I think I am walking the bridge, but actually I'm just continuing copy paste all things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Benedetto, do you want to explore that, or how I can share whatever?
Go on, Marco, go on. Yes. I feel this is.
It's a very important, very, very important topics, and there is so much that needs to be said about this, But yes. There are many, many things that needs to occur. Not many, a few, but radically deep in our subconscious. First of all, we need to get out of judgment, and step into neutrality, where we see the perfection of everything, and we don't judge, oh, that's the old world, that's bad, and now we need to get to the good one. We just release that. And we see and we embrace the polarity game, both the evil and the light, which are just soul that have been playing a role so that we can have an experience. But behind the curtain, there is just a beautiful soul like us, So if we can go from the emotional love, which is a sticky love that is full of fear and concern and worries and expectation and neediness and sacrifice, we need to let go of that and embrace this amazing intergalactical love, where which is the celebration of the free will, is a celebration of freedom. And so there is no judgment. So you need, my dear brother soul, you need to be a little bit longer in the lower frequencies. Yes, that's okay. That's wonderful, because I did that, and look how wonderful it was for me. So I need to allow you to do that without me judging you, and without me being not feeling good because you are not behaving how you should, you know. So we need to let go of all that to stay on the bridge, right? That's one of the things.
Yes.
There are others, but this is a big one. Okay.
No judgment is a really big one. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So the neutrality means that you remove the emotional charge, and you don't stay in the battle anymore. You remove yourself from the battle, right?
Right.
So in past experiences, I was an amazing warrior. Amazing. I mean, unbelievable warrior. And I was doing the work of war, fighting the bad or the good. Sometimes I would go from one to another, and it was unbelievably beautiful. It was an amazing experience. And I still carry with me some scarf from the battles. It's still in my costume, right? They're still here. But now, thanks to I've done that experience, so now I'm not a warrior anymore. I don't validate anymore the eternal perpetual battle between the good and the evil. And that's what we need to stay on the bridge. We say thank you. We don't play anymore the good and bad, you know.
Right.
And so the game fall, because you know you need an enemy to continue the battle, you know.
Exactly.
So that's one thing. So neutrality and this beautiful galactical love, where we love the good and bad and the evil. We love it all, right?
Right.
And the appreciation for the role that they are playing, because they make this game so interesting, you know. So that's one characteristic for being a bridge. Maybe you two guys can come out with some other ideas to add up to this.
Today in the morning, I was with a friend, with a woman, a goddess, and she told me 2 people can't fight if one choose not. And that's big.
Yeah.
If one person chooses not to fight, the 2 person that can.
No.
Because I'm there and they say, no, I don't fight. I'm there in neutrality, and I see the purpose why you feel this way, and they let you express whatever you want to express, but I'm not responding with emotion, you know, with emotions. You know, I'm not reacting, you know, to you. Yeah. And just let you be whatever you need in this moment to be able to do.
Yes.
And this neutrality that Marco is talking about, such a powerful frequency that we need to tune in order to be in that bridge. Very, very important for us. There is many frequencies that can allow us to get out of the bridge, or to go back, you know, backwards. And as we talked before, one of that can be money. You know, is this big elephant in the room that nobody really wants to address, but you know, there is no balance yet for all of us with this frequency, you know, and especially in the spiritual community and the spiritual world, whether we will find peace with this frequency. And I would love for you, Marco, to talk a little bit about this. What's your take in money and the role of money in the new world, in the new humanity?
Well, there's no doubt that money will be let go very soon. It doesn't have a long lifespan, because money is the most powerful representation of scarcity, and we know that scarcity it was an amazing experience, but it's not talking about illusions. I mean, there's only infinite abundance, you know. In this matrix where we've been so far, they tell us, they indoctrinate us with the idea that you have to earn a living, you have to deserve it, you have to work hard, you have to sacrifice to have it and to climb the mountain, right?
Right.
In the real natural way of being, just because you exist, you deserve it all.
Exactly.
So that's the shift that we have to do. So just because you exist, you deserve it all, you understand. But once you embrace that, money doesn't have any sense anymore. Right.
Right. Exactly.
It's just, and that's what we are working right now. We are creating and we are attempting to educate the banking system, which is the representation of money for at its best, to create this card that has unlimited access.
Mm-hmm.
So we are connecting with Switzerland Bank right now. We have an appointment next Monday, by the way. I have to tomorrow I drive to Switzerland to talk to this banking system. And we are designing for them a new banking system. We already told them, I say, listen, you have very few months of longevity because the whole banking system is collapsing. The whole thing is collapsing. So we are offering you a way that you can continue to exist, but you have to come from this side. You have to come from to the side of the people. You have to embrace your soulfulness. You know, so you have to sponsor now oneness, not separation anymore, not scarcity anymore. You sponsor abundance. And here how you do it. And we are explaining to them how this card will work, which is a card that is 0+. So it's a card that doesn't have any credit and it doesn't have any debits. Well, it's a little bit, I don't want to get into it because it gets very technical, but basically the idea is that once you receive this card, you are 100% fully responsible and you have access to infinite abundance. And you have to, in order to operate at that level, you have to embrace a level of consciousness where you remove from your life the idea of accumulation. And you remove from your life the idea of earning, of making money, of making a profit. So from now on, you accept this infinite abundance, but from now on, everything you do is a gift for humanity.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's very interesting for me because the topic of neutrality comes down to, like, I've been yesterday talking a lot about the same topic, money and honesty, and how the whole thing comes together. And for me, it's so interesting that we have this conception of ownership, that I own something. And it's like, this is my garden, this is my house, this is mine. And for me, this is a very distorted perception of I am the caretaker of something.
Exactly.
It's like, if I have a garden, I am nothing else than the caretaker of this garden. I'm the one that brings the water to the plants and, takes care of.
Yes, you're the guardian.
Exactly. And from that perspective, this amount of money, like just the fluidity itself of the currency makes sense to share, because then it cannot be about accumulating, because how much garden can you have before you realize that it's too big of a job to take care of, that I could only take care of the simplicity that I can take care of, and it's not about creating some kind of weird status where I'm like, look how big my garden is. And this is not going to work. I have to be honest with myself of, okay, this is the amount that I can handle. This is the amount that makes sense for me. This is the amount where I can thrive upon without becoming a slave to that whole idea of this is what I own.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's where money and honesty come and get in one. Because in order to get this power, this responsibility, you need to be honest to yourself. And that's a huge energy that has been lacking in the planet, honesty. You know, what's behind the need and the wanting to own so many houses, so many cars, so many things that we don't need, that we can't even take care of that. So as Marco said, you know, this is also like responsibility. You are responsible for whatever you are going to get, because you gotta taking care of, and you can't accumulate. You know, that's a huge point that, you know, not many are going to be able to understand, to say yes to this. Because once you see that card, you can think, oh my God, I'm gonna buy like everything and I'm gonna have everything. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a flow. You are flowing with this energy. You know, is an abundance of the art. So whatever your art needs at every given moment is gonna match its need. But once this need comes from the mind, from the ego, you know, from the stomach, you know, so from the collective mind, then it's not flowing anymore, you know, and you get stuck. And something is going to happen that you're going to have a problem with the card, you know, because it's a lot of power to be handled with.
So I have a question for you, Marco. Yesterday we were talking about this kind of shift, and what we were exploring was this idea that, for example, the farmers here, we have a big indigenous population, and they are, you know, for 2 or 3 euros a day, they are working in order to create the food that people are eating here. And I feel that the people that are feeding us as a collective are the ones that should be listened to the most, because they are actually doing the hard work of feeding all of us. And so I'm curious to hear your take it's like, basically, I would love to give the people what they deserve, in the sense of, wow, this is such an amazing work, because if you wouldn't grow these plants, then I would have nothing to eat. And therefore, this should be valued the way that I see it should be valued. And I would like to hear your take on this shift of giving value to people that have been considered the lowest level of the working hierarchy.
Well, of course, as we grow in consciousness, we understand there is no such a thing as hierarchy, but let's play with that a little bit for a moment. Okay.
Right.
So these lovely, beautiful indigenous people, which we would have to ask them, is what you're doing is truly the product of your joy? It's really what you love to do, or you're still adopting the idea of survival, or you're still adopting the idea of scarcity, and you're still validating the old system? That would be probably the first question we need to ask, because once you do what you love to do, there is not anymore the idea of receiving and giving and bargaining and marketing and you know, and doing all that business stuff. It doesn't apply anymore, because you're already receiving as you give. It's all one together, because you are in joy. So just be able to do what you do, it's already paying you, it's already giving you you know, the reward. Then everything is an extra bonus. So once we shift in consciousness, we operate from that level, then of course there is not anymore the lower side of the hierarchy and the higher sides, because the lower, it means that these people have a program that they feel small and insignificant, and they feel a victim. You see, here we are touching another things. If you want to be in that bridge, no more victim, no more victim.
Exactly.
Okay? You need to let go of that victim thing, because that's at the bottom of the inverted matrix. The Luciferian matrix that we've been living until now is based on victim and savior, savior, right?
Right.
So the indigenous also have to embrace a higher level of consciousness, although for them many times it's easier because they are so connected with Mother Earth that it shouldn't be really as much of a struggle as someone that has been working all his life in Detroit, or But yeah, that's the question. So why are you doing what you're doing? And he will probably tell you, well, we don't have enough. We need to survive. And that's where we need to start to do the work. All right. That's where we need to start to do the work.
And it's not about, giving more money to them, because if we give more money to them, it's like we're feeding, this mentality that we are bigger and they are smaller, but now we give more so we can balance it. No, that is about them, or whoever person is living the lower consciousness of scarcity, to realize that is a state of mind. And also in order to rise, what is needed is open and rise the consciousness and realize that I came here to do what I love and not what I need to do in order to survive. So that's the kind of talk that we need to have with these brothers, with the sisters, helping them to shift and open this consciousness. It's not about giving a little bit more money. Otherwise, we feed that kind of programming.
Yes.
Right, Marco?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, at first you will have to provide the circumstances so that they can relax, they can pause, and because most of these people and most of us never had the opportunity to really address their uniqueness, because this is all about celebrating our uniqueness.
Exactly.
We all come, we are all one, but we are all unique. That's the paradox. Yes. So there is inside you, inside me, inside the indigenous, in each of us, there is something special and something very unique that wants to come to be birthed. And that's what we are here for. But most of us, as soon as we get into the game, we are immediately discouraged by scarcity, by survival, by culture, by all this idea that we adopt. And
the slave system, yes.
Exactly. So I'm sure that these indigenous, when they were little children, they were going naturally to their natural tendency, but then they immediately been discouraged by going deeper into that, because they have to go and provide. And so it might take a little bit of time for them to connect with their really uniqueness. And so what is needed to be done is to create a good playground so that they can slowly, at their own pace, reconnect with their unique blueprint. So
right.
They can then and some people might not be willing to do that, because we also have to take in consideration the fact that we are not here all for the same reasons.
Right.
Okay, there are many souls that are here just for the ride.
That's true. And then there's a lot of bodies that are not having the same kind of soul that
there is a huge amount of population that are just extras.
Exactly, yes.
Right. And then there is a part of us that have a soul and everything else, but they are not interested in evolution. They are just here to follow the curriculum, just to have the experience, and then they go and play somewhere else. So those one you will see, because you tell them, hey, how about this? And they are not interested. They just don't. That's a dream. I want to stay in reality. They will tell follow the curriculum.
Exactly.
Right. So, and those needs to be honored. and respected because there is free will, you know, and there's nothing
Exactly.
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. In fact, that's the magic, because the other percentage, which is the minority, which we are part of it, which are those souls that came here not just for the ride, but to change the ride. We came here to transform the ride. We came here because we knew that we were going to be in this moment at the end of the cycle and the beginning of a new one. And so we were very excited about, wow, I want to be there in that moment, that magical moment where we are making this incredible transformation, right?
Yes.
And we are very few. However, we are so powerful that if we, again, remove the judgment and we address what we call extras, or what we call soul that are here just for the ride, we address with our full love, you know, we might trigger a new vibration in them, and then a soul say, oh, I love that container, it really looks bright, I want to get into that, right? And then they come in, and then they come from our side.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of consideration needs to be taken when we are on that bridge.
Yeah.
I can feel that. Yeah, I totally agree with this perspective. I have so much resonance with what you're sharing. This is so beautiful to see how, like, I feel now is the time where more and more of us are coming together, and we are realizing it's like, yeah, we are not many, but we are many at the same time. We are not just, 5 people in the whole world. We are thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know. And it's beautiful to see how more and more like-minded people are coming together to actually, like what we are doing now, to find out and to consolidate these energies, to really make it, to ground it in, to bring it down here.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Benedetto.
And I feel this is beautiful, because if you really think about why the intention and the reason why tonight the three of us we get together is only for love. There is no money involved. I don't want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from Marco. You guys don't want nothing from me. Besides the desire to rise human consciousness, starting from ourselves, reconnecting, and that's pure magic coming from this pure love. This is the magic that the world needs, and I feel it's very important also to talk about this transition, waiting for this card to arrive for some of us, how some of us are going to do this transition, still talking about money. If one of the brothers, like Darko K is doing a course, how it's gonna work with this frequency of money. I read in your beautiful website, Marco, about the donation. You wrote something so beautiful about the donation. I really resonate with that. And maybe I would like for you to talk a little bit about that.
All right. So, donation, it can be very tricky because we have this money thing so deeply embedded in our system. It's so profoundly embedded, where we measure the value sometimes of something from the cost. So if it's 3,000 euros, that must be amazing. And if it's $30, maybe it's so. Some people think like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay. I lower my price, but then I get that kind. Oh, if it's cheap, it means it's not good, right?
Right.
So that didn't resonate very well. And then I was thinking about donation. The thing is that often when we ask for donation, it has a subtle poor me, I need some help, kind of vibration, right?
Yes.
I can see some people, please donate, click the donation button of, or like me, or all these games that we play on the marketing, which I never follow because I don't have a resonance with them. And so, but so that also was something that I didn't feel in resonance. And now I think I do. I don't even remember. I think I have a donation button on the site. But I also added, like you said, something I did some time ago. So I have to reconnect now with what I was saying. But I was introducing the idea of donation from a higher level of consciousness, where basically, and donation is not even the right word, but there is not such a, we have to create a new word basically to address this.
Let's do it. It's the time. Let's do it.
So basically, let's say I create this cup because it's the product of my joy. I love it. I love doing cup. This is my love, and so and now I give it to you, and I love it you to have it, right? But I'm already fulfilled because the action of doing the cup already reward me immensely, because in order to create this cup, I connected to source, and source told me how to do the work, how to put together ingredient, what color, and it was an orgasmic experience. So I'm okay. I don't need anything, but if you want it, you can have it. It's yours. Now, you want to give me something back? You decide. I'm already fine. So it's up to you to decide what this cup is, what kind of value this cup has for you. You decide. You give the value to this cup.
Yes.
All right. And I'm completely I have no expectations. I have no needs. I don't need to be recognized as I don't let's say connect with the value that you give to the cup or how much I value myself. None of that. My container is already full of joy and full of love. So I give you the cup, and then you decide, and then you receive the cup. I am the receiver of the cup, and I say, wow, this cup is so amazing, beautiful, and then my soul will tell me, 1,000 euros, it feels right. 5 euros, it feels right. 1 million euros feels right. Your soul will tell you what is this value for you. And it might be different from this guy. From this guy, this cup doesn't mean anything. And so it might give you 5 cents, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So the donation that I was attempting to explain, and I don't know how many can really even begin to grasp this kind of way, because they are so compartmentalized into the monetary system and the business system. But basically it's that what you decide the value of what is the value for you of things, whether it's a car or a computer or a concert or a massage that you receive from a professional, whatever you decide. And so that's the game. You just allow people to take responsibility, which is the ability to respond. So my ability to respond to this gift that you offer, create the value. All right. So that was more or less the donation video that I did.
Marco, this sounds amazing to me. This is it. That's how we should, all of us, interact with this frequency of money, with this frequency of just abundance and, making things from the earth. My question is, in this bridge, because we're going from one word to another word, how you personally handle, to pay your bill, to pay everything that you need to pay, to meet all your needs. Because, in this bridge, there can be some kind of insecurity, where we're not sure yet if this is going to work for us. So I'm just asking this for all of us right now, listen to this, and have a little bit of fear, about the minimum.
Yeah. Well, one of the important factors is, again, not judgment. So if I have to pay a bill or a ticket or whatever wherever the game wants me to get attention to, I don't have a judgment, so I don't feel contraction or I don't feel anger. It's just, okay, what is this? It's just a number. And then somehow things work out because I'm not emotionally charged about it. I don't have any contraction about the idea of money, and I'm not corruptible. You cannot come to me and say, you do this, and I give you $2 million. I don't get fascinated by such. To me, it doesn't mean anything. All right. Mm-hmm. What it means is, okay, you asked me to do this. In what way this is valuable for life? In what way I'm supporting life if I decide to do this, despite the amount of zeros that are in front of the amount that you give me? That is meaningless to me. Right. Doesn't have any meaning. But this is because somehow my relationship with the idea of scarcity doesn't get very dramatic. I'm not very dramatic. I play with it. What is the worst thing that can happen? Mm-hmm. What is the worst thing that can happen? I'm on the street. Maybe it's going to be beautiful to be in the street. Who knows?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, and somehow this is, there's more. There are more aspects, but this is the one that first came out. And somehow this allows me to play and just be myself. And somehow always I have enough, just enough to do my next, and then my next, Yeah. It seems like life supports you once you don't validate the idea of scarcity and worries and money and all that. If it's not in you, it cannot come alive because you are the creator. You are the one that with your powerful vibration, you are molding the hologram. You are tuning in the version of the planet that is exactly respond to your vibrational offer, right? So if I am worry, I tune in the version of the planet that reflect that worries. If I am more lighter about it, so there are infinite amount of versions of this hologram.
All right.
I'll come back.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to finish what I was saying, and then we'll continue the exchange. Basically, what I was saying is that we have this amazing, powerful ability, which is called imagination, and right. It's not something that everybody have in the galactic. We are, because the imagination is the same power of the creator itself. So there are as many planet version of this planet as we can imagine. And if we can imagine something, it does exist somewhere. We cannot imagine something that doesn't exist somewhere. All right. So when we have a vibration, we pick up a specific vibration in our costume. This vibration connect with the vibration of one version of the planet.
Yeah.
And so we experience that, right? Like also with my mother, if I connect with, if I rise up my frequencies, I connect with the version of my mother that is different than the other one. It's interesting. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
To see that. I don't know if you guys have ever witnessed that, but sometimes you raise your frequency or you lower your frequency, and all of a sudden you say, something is different here.
Absolutely.
Part of one of the many factors is where you tune in, which version of the planet you tune in with your believing system, with the idea that you are. So if I have a believing system where everything is, I have to work hard and sacrifice in order to make it through, then the hologram, planet Earth, respond to me with that vibration and confirm to me what I am addressing, because life always say yes to us.
Right.
Wife always say, yes, I love you. Yes. So I feel miserable. Yes, I love you. Okay, miserable. I give you a lot of miserable, you know, because I love you. It doesn't judge. It doesn't say wrong or right. It says, okay, you know, it's unconditional love. So whatever you say is yes, you know.
Yes.
And that's why we need to really be conscious on how we feel and what we say and what we how we act, you know, and always monitoring our contraction, our emotional when they're contracted, because that's a chance, an opportunity for us to go and look at something, that an idea that we adopted that doesn't belong to us anymore or serve us, but now it's time to let it go. And as soon we let it go, immediately we tune in with a version of the hologram that is higher now. And so before we were like this, and now we are like this, more possibilities. Wow, fun. Now we have things that before were unthinkable and are now available to us, you know?
Right. That's so exciting.
It is exciting.
What's your feeling, Darko?
I'm just loving this, right? I don't even know how to express this feeling. It's this expansion basically, because it's like you said, a couple of months ago this seemed to be impossible, and now here we are. It's happening. I really enjoy how to see how everything is shifting. It's like this example, what you say with your mother, is like, for me, it's the same thing. My mom, I literally, I judged her to be hopeless, that she will never change to be, my judgment was that she's superficial. And half a year ago, she just totally changed. Now she's into meditation, and it gives her the peace that she was always looking for. And now we're talking about her own personal process, and I can actually connect with her in the level that I always wanted to connect with her. Now she's not just my a mom role. Now she is actually one of my best friends, and I'm so happy that I can share this type of connection, that I can be just me authentically with her, and having someone that has a different type of experience and actually helps me to see things in a more larger scale. And it's so beautiful. I am so grateful for these kind of shifts, knowing that ultimately it's me that shifted. And
Yes.
I shifted into another version of her, in my, like, another reflection of myself in her. And it's like I have this excitement of wanting to, I feel like a little kid that wants to show everyone that this is possible, that everyone can choose how you relate to your own reality, like the relativity of reality. And that's such a beautiful gift to carry with us.
Absolutely. Yes, that's wonderful. Well, you know, your mother was playing a role so that you could address some stuff. Like my mother was playing a role, so I could address some stuff. And once you addressed that and you processed that and it was done, then her role was not needed anymore, right? And so she shifted to a new role now. Now she's playing a different role for you.
Exactly. And I feel that, like, on a more global scale, we are all going through this. Like, as man, like all of us together, we are stepping into this unity consciousness, where we are realizing that you cannot not meet yourself, because everything is just you in a mindful, abstracted way. And therefore, however you respond to anyone else, to any given situation, will have an impact on yourself, on the way that you perceive life, and like that vibration that you are in that holographic universe.
Now,
and I am, yeah.
Go ahead, finish, please.
I just feel like it's like what you said before, that we don't really have a language for that, and I'm so curious to work with more and more people to find out how can we address these things in a way that it makes sense for everyone, or for more and more people. That we have our own language, that not our own, but a language that is capable of transmitting these ideas away from scarcity, away from the old belief structures, so that we know that when you say donation, that's actually what is meant, and not all of these ideas.
Right. Well, that will happen eventually very soon, where we'll start to shift into telepathy.
Right.
So we start to communicate with our soul, with the language of our soul, which is the language. That's how we interconnect with the extraterrestrial, with the other realities. You don't use words, also because our languages are infected with deception, because they're part of the inverted matrix. And so, I say, I understand you. And what I'm saying, I'm standing under you. That's not what I meant to say,
Exactly.
I say hello and I say hell.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, right? Hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's all inverted. It's all messed up. Of course, the intent is always important and overcome most of it. But still, like you're saying, you're sensing the desire to have a better, more fluid and more organic way to interact. And I suspect that soon, as our buttons start to turn on again, because we have a costume out of which about 90% of the incredible things that are part of the operating system human are off right now. And we've been living like that for 10,000 years. It's like if we have a Ferrari and all the buttons are off and you have only one gear and you can go only 10 miles per hour, right? Now the Ferrari is coming up to be live so that we can go 350 miles per hour. So
exactly,
that's what's happening right now.
And that's what I feel like. That's why I chose honesty as the trajectory for how to call it, because I see it as a dynamic more than the content, so that we can like what you just said, the words, hello. And if someone is not aware of that, then they could still use it without realizing that there's other possibilities. So I feel that now we have reached this place where it's about calling out the things that are not serving us anymore, in order for realizing that we have the choice to use it in a different way, to totally step through it on a larger scale. And so I feel that this is so beautiful, to be able to be honest with each other, like what good friends are. Like that's how I consider a real friend for me, is someone that is honest to me. Like that is how I build up trust into someone, knowing that they will not take my bullshit. If I come with something where I'm like tripping in my own mental thing, that they will come around and be like, hey Darko, wait a minute, what is this? Yeah. And then I can step through it, because they chose to be so brave to be honest with me, and then I can use that feedback. And I'm longing to see this kind of change to become, or this kind of honesty to become, a part of our culture, where we are being honest with each other in order to see things the way they are, and to call things the way that they are, to then realize that we don't have to call them anything, because to call them already is a judgment. And then we just step into common sense. Literally, it's like to make common sense common again. It's like for a 3-year-old, they understand it, common sense, as much as someone who is 60, 70, if they're connected enough with a natural way of living. And I'm looking forward to promote this type of culture in order to make the transition more smooth for people, realizing that we carry that knowledge all along anyway, that connection.
Yeah, that's a beautiful intent. Really powerful, beautiful intent.
It's like I come from improvisation. I bet that you as a musician understand, like from improvisation, it's like when you're inspired, everything's going to work out. And if you carry just the idea of, this is what I'm going to do, then most likely it's not going to be what you expected. And then you have to struggle with like, oh shit, I thought it's going to be this. And now it turns out to be something else. And inspiration, it already says it. It's in spirit. Like I'm already connected. And therefore, It's just the question, can we as a group feel where is the inspiration? Now the inspiration is with me. That's why I'm talking. And then now soon it will shift to one of you guys. And then it's clear where we need to be in the rhythm of speaking or silence. And once these rhythms become clear, all the communication is so easy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is beautiful. What resonates to me when you were talking about connecting with telepathy, actually, when I was living in Guatemala in Lake Atitlan in that period, in one of my ceremonies connecting with my soul, I received the message that I was communicating with those beings of light of the galactic with the frequency of love communication, and they interact through them with the frequency of love communication. And it was very beautiful because every time after ceremony, I will start to speak. It's like I will get sucked in again in my body. Until I will not speak, I will literally can communicate and receive those frequency of love from people. And it was like incredible because it was a test of what you are talking, Marco.
Yeah.
You know, this telepathy that is the frequency of love. There is no need of these words, these human words that put everything inside the box that is very limited.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like when we have 3 dogs here, and I feel that they are highly telepathic in the sense of that they exactly know what I mean. And I can tell that they know exactly what I mean by their response. And I don't actually even have to say anything. It's just that by feeling clearly what I'm feeling, I know that they know what I'm feeling.
Yes.
And so it's like, yes, I'm used to be saying this or that to the dog, to train the dog to certain commands. But that's just me in my mind thinking that I need to speak certain commands. Because when I'm honest with myself, I realize, no, wait, if I feel clearly what I'm feeling and I am standing in this feeling, the dog immediately knows. It knows, okay, that was too much, and it responds accordingly. And I believe that the whole world is like that. The whole life is like that. Everything responds to what we carry inside. And then it's what you said, it's just what do you choose to be resonating with, what level of the hologram, and then the appropriate response will come. It's holographic. It cannot not.
I'm experiencing even go.
No, vai, Benedetto, go.
I'm experiencing even now being presence of people that are tell me things or give me answer without me say that, without me say what I was feeling, and they tell me something of what I was feeling in that exact moment. I'm like, what is that? Like, why those people are telling me things based of my feeling without them knowing anything? Because obviously my field of energy is getting wider and is getting, more beautiful and more intense. As people that can tune into this frequency even without be conscious of that. So when they speak, it's like in spirit, they're inspired to say something and they don't even know why, And then I'm like, okay, something is happening. I know that I'm getting more in tune and I really gotta be aware of that, of what I'm feeling, because I know that even if it's not conscious, all people around me are going to be tuned into that frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. You were mentioning animals, dogs in this case. If you notice, dogs do not judge. Right? Don't have any judgment.
They're the perfect example, yes.
And they don't, besides sometimes they want some food, but usually they don't want anything from you. They don't expect anything from you because they don't need, these are the idea of honesty among many other things, is also very connected to the idea of self-love. Because
Right.
the more I love myself, the more it's easier for me to be honest, because I don't need any approval. I don't need you to like me, right? I don't need you to
Exactly.
understand me. I don't need, so I can be completely honest, because I have nothing to lose. You know, I have not, I don't have my life, my self value doesn't depend on how you respond to what I'm saying. Doesn't depend on if you love me, if you like me, if you understand me. There's none of that anymore. And that's the biggest
Right.
freedom. It occurred to me, I don't know, when I was 30 something years old, I remember I was explaining to people, no, I didn't say that. I didn't mean to say that. I want to tell you, I'm not really like what you think. I'm like that. I'm like that. And after a while, I was saying, what am I doing? Why I need to give all these explanations? Why do I need the approval? You know, I just need to be fully myself. And then if people like it or don't like it, it's really none of my business. My business is
Exactly.
to be honest first with myself, in integrity with myself, and bright as much as possible, bright up my light. And then when I enter a room, I light it up. And then there are some people will like it and will come close, and some people will don't. And it's really, and I have zero expectations. So I don't go inside the room. I said, I want people to like me. I want everybody to appreciate my light. I need that, you know, it's like, I'm here and I am completely, and this is another very important element. I am in the now. All right. So I am not dancing the psychopathic narrative of the ego, but it's constantly addressing what went wrong in the past and what could go wrong in the future, and engage me constantly in this dance. And then I'm worried about what I'm going to say. I cannot be honest, because last time I was honest, I received this and this and this. No, you know, but if I stay in the here and now, then there is no way that you can be in the here and now and be dishonest. It's not possible.
Exactly.
Not possible, you know, because you have to surrender. You have to line up with life. Life, it's always here and now. There is nothing else but here and now, right? So these are elements that are very important when we address the idea of honesty.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, I call this the Peter Pan effect, where, you know, Peter Pan that can fly and he's always chasing his shadow because he's so light. He's like, I want to know what it's like to have a shadow, so I'm chasing my own shadow. And I feel that in order to become that, you have to walk through this portal of magic, of believing you can fly, and you cannot bring any luggage. You cannot bring anything from the past. You just have to be in the now.
Yeah.
So it's like I see people walking through this portal of magic, of believing in themselves, of starting to understand that there's more possibilities in their life, but they're holding on to this piece of luggage from their past, this identification of something, and that's why they cannot fully walk through. They cannot fly because they are stuck with this heavy piece of luggage, and people are afraid of letting go of their past in order to explore what it means to fly. And that's where I feel that the only way of sharing that it's possible is to be it, to be an example of, look, it's possible. I am the living example that you can let go of all of your luggage and live in a totally foreign country and do crazy stuff, and everything is supporting that by trusting that we are where we need to be. We're in the now, to trust the now. Exactly. It's basically comes down to that. It's really beautiful.
It's for those who position themselves in that bridge, it can be very tricky because we want to help.
Right.
And helping needs a great deal of discernment, because the idea of helping needs to be reconsidered in many ways.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's like,
yeah,
yeah, please.
no, go then.
It's just like if someone comes and asks you for help, then obviously you're totally allowed to give the help. But if someone does not want your help, then it is a transgression to
Exactly
basically force your help upon someone.
Yes,
it's also beautiful to realize that we are doing this for ourselves. Like, this whole process is our process to awakening. Even when we are helping others, those others are just confirm me and confirm and bring energy to our process to awakening. So there is never separation. And it's very important for us to realize that everybody that is coming into our life, is an helper, is a supporter,
yes. And everything is all interconnected, because you follow your joy. And so once you follow your joy, you already are fulfilled. So you step into appreciation. Despite whatever is happening outside of you, you're already in appreciation because you are following your joy. And appreciation means that you don't want anything, so you don't want anything, so you don't need to manipulate anything. You can stay in integrity with yourself, and you can be honest. So you see, it's all interconnected, right? We're basically talking about the same thing, which is love, basically.
Yeah. And it's like when people, I don't know, they make a lot of money and they have some weird job like I used to do. And then with all that money that you're making, you need to spend or to buy things in order to fill the void of emptiness that you have, because you're not in integrity and you're not aligned with your spirit purpose. So whatever you are creating is creating void and emptiness all around you, and then you're gonna go fill it up. Then in the opposite, when you are aligned, and in tune with your soul mission, with your spirit, with your heart, then you are already fulfilled. There is no neediness there. There is completeness. So when, before one amount of material, money, abundance, whatever was needed, now is needed very little, because in the other side there is, full availability of source of energy. And then from that space, whatever is coming, sure, why not? I don't need it, but why not? The Ferrari is coming, yeah, let me go for a ride. Sure. But doesn't make who I am. That's not who I am. Because I know who I am, I'm spirit having a human experience, and we are there trying, all of us to really enter in that, and really live this experience as spirit conscious in a human form.
Yeah, I feel that gratitude is such a big key. It's like what you just described. Or both of you just described. It's so beautiful, because if you are in gratitude, like you said, then you don't need anything. You are just grateful for what you have. And I feel that that is connected to this inverted control matrix, where everyone is afraid of dying, basically, because then everything will be over in that perspective. And so people don't follow their own dreams in order to survive something that actually kills them slowly. It takes out the joy out of their lives. Whereas if we understand that we can only be grateful for every moment is a gift. We don't know when it will end, this ride. And so every moment that is being given we can only be grateful for it. How amazing that we can breathe, we can talk, we can share, we can look at the beauty of nature. And so once we start counting our blessings, then it's so easy to stay grateful. we have so much to be grateful for.
Since I've been talking with Marco, I've been tuning into an higher frequency. You know, I also was feeling like you, Darko, you know, this gratitude was at the base, you know, of my life. And then started this interaction with this beautiful soul that is Marco. I get in this frequency of appreciation. So from gratitude, I went a little bit up to this appreciation, and I've been working this day with this appreciation, and it feels, you know, more empowering because, you know, I appreciate this moment that the three of us, we take our time from our life to connect out of love, and I appreciate you and me and the spirit to be here to co-create this, and that's beautiful. So I want to thank Marco to introduce me and raise my frequency into this appreciation. Thank you, Marco.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, appreciation is basically probably the highest vibration we have available in this experience. The difference between let's say, just to use a name, a Jesus and an ordinary person. There is no such a thing as ordinary person. I'm just using as a metaphor. It's just a different level of appreciation. You know, it's just a different level of appreciation. That's all.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So this is a creative process. We are in a creative process, right?
Right.
It's like the metaphor that I use with the ocean. Let's say that the ocean is symbolize a source, so all that is, right? But the ocean, which is all that is, and is amazing, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Because it's all that is. If you are all that is, you cannot have an experience. How can you have an experience if you are all? So in order to have an experience, you have to start to create fragmentation. And so the ocean creates drops, right? The moment the ocean become drops, a creative process began. Mm-hmm. So we are all drops. So we are the ocean, but we are drops so that we can embody a creative process so that the ocean can have an experience of self.
Right.
So every time we are fully in our power as creator, source has an orgasm. Like, wow, you know? Amazing. So that's what we are here for. We are here to create. We are creator. And a creator, what is the creator? Is an artist.
Right. A channel.
We are all artists. And if you notice the similarity in artist and heart, we are heartists, right? So
right.
In the heart, there is a soul. So when we allow the soul to come and be at the driver's seat of our car, we become artists. Everybody, and being an artist is not limited to the performing art, the dancing, the painting. Whatever you do and you use your uniqueness, then you are an artist. So the artist for me is the highest expression of humanity, because when we are artists, we are fully responsible of our creative process, of the creative process. And that's why Source created us, right? For us to create, you know, so it's a creation so we are creator. So, and celebration, you know, it's a celebration of our uniqueness. That's what creativity is.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So how do we continue co-creating? How do we see us co-creating basically?
All right, generally speaking, the formula is really simple. You follow your joy by taking action with zero expectations.
Right.
So follow your joy by taking action, because if you don't take action, we are in a physical form, nothing happened, it stay in a dream. You follow your joy, it means you connect with source, you download a vibration that doesn't exist here. So you're not manifesting, you are creating. Because if you manifest, I can manifest the big villa, the beautiful girl, the lot of money, the whatever I can manifest. And that's good, there's nothing wrong with that. But the creator is someone that bring in something that didn't exist anymore and is shared with the planet, so that the whole planet expand.
Right.
So follow your joy by taking action with zero expectation, because the moment you have expectation, you lose the purity, you lose the innocence.
Right.
This is huge. This is huge.
Yeah, and so that's generally how we create the three of us, that we can talk about, and that's going to be as fascinating as before. We are creating right now.
Absolutely. We are creating right now. You want to talk a couple minutes, Darko, about your course, just to give a glimpse? And
yeah, I mean, basically the idea is just to, what is honesty, and to create awareness about that, everything that we've been talking today. It's like I said before, I see it as a mechanic, like a dynamic that we apply, that doesn't matter what is the topic. You can be honest making music, you can be honest painting a house, you can be honest in literally anything. And for me, honesty is just the path towards a new language, a new way, a new. It's about the new. It's about identifying where we are in repetition, and then finding out how we want to step through that repetition in order to find out something that is fresh, that is innocent, that carries that innocence, so that we stay inspired, we stay in the appreciation, we stay in the abundance, because we are helping each other to stay there by being honest, by reflecting honestly what is actually happening in the now. And so the whole course is just this idea of introducing these ideas, these concepts, in order to see where we are at. How do we go deeper? How can we be more honest? So it's like a lot of little questions that are just helping us to identify where we are at in the process of honesty, in order to then co-create a community where we can help each other to stay in this vibration of the truth of our heart, what really excites us, and have people that see that and help us to stay in this vibration. So it's like a 6-week course where we have something that we are doing right now, a live call where we're talking with each other and just hearing each other and being able to have a safe container to express. Also the doubts, also that there's no judgment. Again, that can only work through this non-judgmental, unconditional love approach. To then see, oh wow, I am not alone. Whatever I'm struggling with, I am not alone. There's other people out there that see it the same way that I do. And that I feel from my contact with people that are still living in this inverted matrix, is what is really needed for a lot of people, that they can have hope again. It's like, there is another way. It's not just all going downhill here. And so they allow themselves like a permission slip to see, okay, I have a choice. I can live a different life. And that's the idea, to help us each other empower ourselves into what we actually want to spend our life with.
Absolutely. We have to be, it really require a high level of mastery to build a community, because it's a very juicy concept for the ego community, you know.
Right.
So we really need to stay centered, because the community then create gurus, leaders, creates separations, create jealousy, create envy. So it's a wonderful, and it's a mandatory to me at this point to merge in communities in nature. But it also has to be really well, really have to be tuned in and really know how to handle it, because there's a lot of ego that still is kicking and screaming. This planet will not have any more ego in about 10 years.
Right.
In 10 years?
Yeah, more or less. 1 year less, 1 year more.
Yes.
So because by 10 years or less, it's going to be a fully fifth dimensional experience. So no more ego. But as the ego shrink and doesn't find any more nutrition, because right now the matrix is collapsing, so the ego, the ego is an antenna, is artificial intelligence, is an implant in our left brain, right? In our left hemisphere. It's connecting with the moon and with Saturn and with the Earth. With the matrix, with inverted matrix, not with the Earth, I'm sorry. And as the matrix and the moon have been unplugged, now the ego has very little nutrition, and the only nutrition he can find is by engaging with another ego. That's the only one. That's why our interaction is getting often more intense, because there is an ego that is looking for nutrition and needs to engage at that level, and so things happen. But the ego is dying right now, and it's not dying because nothing really died. And in fact, the best way to deal with the ego is, again, by loving it. The ego comes with a narrative, and I say, I love you, thank you for this. It's an interesting idea. Not now, thank you, but I love you. Come, I'll give you a hug. Rather than fighting it or trying to avoiding it, deny it, or analyzing it. It won't work, because the ego, he knows how to handle those vibrations. But if you give them love, if you give the ego love, the ego doesn't know, it doesn't have any weapon anymore. So that is the way how we, when we feel our ego coming in, that's the best way to appreciation again. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know this narrative. I know that you are worried. I know that I should do this because this and this and this. But I don't need that anymore. And please stay with me. I love you. I don't want you to go. Stay with me. I love you. But just let me do what I need to do. Okay.
Guys, I think I feel it was an amazing sharing as our first meeting. Very powerful, very beautiful, meaningful. And I feel so much love coming in this moment. Yeah. And appreciation.
The best answer is why are we doing this? Because it's fun.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, because it's fun.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. I love you all.
All right.
I love you. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, beautiful. Bye-bye. Ciao.